Welcome aboard Outland Station Production Platform 3. Tonight we're going to be doing test pours on several of the molds I've made over the weekend. I'm going to rush through a lot of this. A lot of this probably will end up getting cut out. But one of the main things I want to do is to do some slush casting here in a little bit. Now these are flat back. These molds are going to be flat back control panels, suitable for mounting on walls of corridors, door frames, things like that. Cargo boxes as well. That's kind of the specific application I'm going for right now, is on some cargo boxes. I had a little bit of a shortage on this mold earlier, so I want to top it off. Okay, let's see. Well, it looks like maybe we're not going to do any slush casting just yet. I'm going to fill this mold here. This is a two-piece mold of a little amide can. Now, this is the first run on all these molds except for the big one here. So I'm going to be getting to know these molds this evening, in addition to trying out or demonstrating the slush casting technique. Now, like I told Clint on the forum, on my two-part mold, what I do is I pour it up in both halves and I watch for it to start changing colors. But this one, the second half is really just a detailed cap. So what I'm going to do is, there's no real recesses in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add enough resin here to kind of dome it, and I'll be wanting to watch this for color change. And I forgot completely when I was doing the mold to cut my keys in it, so I've got to kind of guesstimate. Now, for slush casting, what you want to do, you're going to start with a hollow mold. This whole thing's almost hollow, almost completely hollow all the way to the end. Oh, my resin's heating up. I gotta pour it in. That was almost enough to fill that mold too. But the idea is to roll it while it's curing. Keep it in motion. Okay, I gotta flip this over. I saw my color change starting. And you sandwich it together like that. And so far, the weight of the upper surface of the mold, or the second piece of the mold, has been enough to hold it in place while it cures. I'm hoping you guys can see this, where it's rolling around inside and creating a cavity up in there. It's really thick at this point. Now, ideally, I wouldn't have had near that much resin when I poured it in here to slush cast it. Because the idea behind slush casting is to build up your resin on the edges to make a thin hollow, a thin wall hollow cast, like a film can. Now your inside's going to be rough, of course, because of the imprecise nature of doing this. That's getting close to being set up. I'm going to set this down. I've got the camera over here where I can see the viewfinder. Get a good shot looking down inside what's going to be our barrel. And the slush casting, like I did for the barrel here, that helps save on how much resin you use, which is important for us hobbyist casters or commercial casters who aren't made out of money. Looking at the control panels again, you can see how that that cloud is starting to spread. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shut down for a moment while everything finishes setting, and we'll be back to take a look at how things come out in a little bit.